What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Getting Technical, episode 35. I'm here with Roos, his first time on the pod, and we got Blaise back again. Week 6 in the NFL just wrapped up. We're almost headed into week 7. Tomorrow is the Thursday night game. A lot went down this week. Injuries to, the 49ers had 3 of their top guys go down. Fortunately, it looks like they're all going to be all right. But as we head into week 7, almost approaching the midway, roughly, we decided we're going to give our top 10 teams at this point of the season. So I can start things off right away. My top 10 teams in the NFL right now are the Jets at 10, Ravens at 9, Jags at 8, Cowboys at 7, Lions at 6, Bills at 5, Dolphins 4, Chiefs 3, Eagles 2, and I have the Niners at 1, with my honorable mentions being the Browns and the Seahawks. It hurt me to put the Ravens because I don't think they have any chance at winning anything. But at the end of the day, they do have a great defense. They have, on paper, good weapons. Lamar's an above-average quarterback.
It's being nice.
Yeah, I just think that they just find ways to. They're going to be in the playoffs. Let's be honest. It's the Ravens. They find ways. They find ways every single year. I kept the Niners at 1. I believe from everything I read these past few days that all CMC, Debo, and Trent Williams, there's a good chance they all play on Monday since they have that extra day. But every team has a bad week. It just happened that, they went up against one of the best defenses in football in the Browns.
Any given Sunday.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's Purdy's first loss too, as a starter. The Browns defense is tremendous, and they really shut him down, and they really limited his ability to move the ball and everything like that. So props to the Browns. They really knew how to come into that game and come out of it with a W.
Yeah, especially with P.J. Walker at QB. That was P.J. Walker, right?
Yep.
That's who they had. They're on their third-string quarterback. They're just fighting for wins. Realistically, they probably should have lost because Jake Moody missed a 37-yarder, but that also happened in the Jets game, which is how they beat the Eagles. Jake Elliott, who is usually good from.
Dude, I hate
he's
that
usually
guy.
good from 60. Misses the 37-yard field goal, gives the Jets a chance.
I hate that guy.
We have PTSD from that guy. Well, I think it was his rookie year, and he hit a 63-yard
64-yarder to beat the Giants.
To beat the Giants, yeah.
He's easily a top 3 kicker in the league. It was just really.
He's done it multiple times against. He's done it multiple times against the Giants.
Giants killer.
60-plus yards. That guy.
But getting back to my list, I'll just wrap up a few things quickly. I put the Jets in because, along with the Browns, I think that defense is just a top 3 defense. They were missing Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, their top 2 corners this week. The defense completely controlled the game. The Eagles had a few good drives. They could never really finish anything off. With the Jets' defense, it kind of seems like they're really just a bend-don't-break defense. They're going to give up a few big plays, but when it gets down and you're in the red zone or something, they usually come up with the stop. And they can hold the team to 3, which is, it makes the biggest difference, obviously. I kept the Jags in there. They play tomorrow, and T-Law is potentially hurt. Might be out a few weeks. But I put them there assuming he's going to be okay for the rest of the season. I think they play in a weak division.
Long term, yeah.
Yeah, they're 4-2. They've got talent. He's one of the best young QBs in the league, and I think that he finds a way. Cowboys, I'm just not buying it. I'm just not buying it.
They're the regular season champs every year.
The Cowboys, they're a great team. Dak's a solid quarterback. They have great weapons. I think Tony Pollard's one of the best running backs in football.
I agree.
But they lost Diggs. And it just doesn't seem like, I don't know if it's the coaching or something. It's just something that they're missing every year.
When you have Aaron Rodgers as your QB for, I don't know how long McCarthy was in Green Bay for, and you come out with 1 Super Bowl win as Rodgers as your QB, there's definitely a coaching issue there. So I'm not sold on the Cowboys. I'm not sold on McCarthy, and I am most certainly not sold on Dak Prescott leading them to get to the big dance.
Yeah, I agree. I think realistically, as far as my list, I put the Lions on there. We enjoy
Big
watching
Lions.
the Lions.
Detroit has a good football team.
Yeah, they're a really good team. They're fun to watch. I think they're still a bit too young outside of Goff. I think their defense is missing a piece or two. We'll see what happens with the Gibbs-Montgomery thing. Montgomery's hurt again. He's struggled with injury in his career.
He'll be out a few weeks.
Gibbs is supposed to be back this year, so we'll see if that pick finally will pay off. Amon-Ra looks good. That's your guy.
It's my guy.
But outside of that, like Reynolds, they drafted Sam Laporta. He looks awesome.
Great.
I think he's tight end 1 or 2 in fantasy. He's a stud. Detroit is good.
Where did he play college?
I want to say Iowa, but we may have to cut that.
Nah, I'm not gonna. I mean, he probably. who knows where he
All
went.
the tight ends go to
But he's a
Iowa. I
beast.
don't know.
Good.
He's a beast.
He's a good.
I could be
football player.
completely wrong about that. I'm gonna check.
The Bills, after that performance against the Giants, which we could get into. I mean, the Giants were completely robbed. I'm not saying they put it in because they realistically would have just had one more play, so we really don't know what would have happened. But Darren Waller, I mean, come on. The guy, he was held from the second he got off the line.
It was.
I mean, the guy grabbed his jersey, he grabbed his arm. I know it's hard for a ref to call that twice in a row at the end of the game, but it was just so blatant, in my opinion. Even as someone who likes to, like, shit on the Giants, like, it was just a terrible call.
It was, but
Terrible no call.
I mean, listen, it's easier to stomach when the team was already 1-4, and we're looking for. I mean, at this point,
Caleb
all
Williams.
hope is gone. So competitive losses is really what we're looking for.
It was a moral victory.
It was a moral victory. Competitive losses. Let's just we're looking for the draft already. It's a sad life when you're looking forward to the draft in October.
That's the life of most of the time since you guys since 2012. It's a New York football lifestyle.
The offensive line continues to be the biggest issue. They're just so bad.
Tyrod played decent.
He did.
He did.
And I'm all on board of letting Tyrod run the show for the next couple of weeks. I don't know how long Jones is going to be out. I think it's going to be a couple of weeks, but I'm impressed from what I saw with Tyrod. It was actually kind of nice to watch a game where the Giants could actually move the ball down the field. We didn't execute
relatively,
but it was nice to see our team get the ball across the 50. For
a few times a game. Yeah, it was nice.
But you got to score more than 9 points to win a football game. That's just that's how you win the football games. And their defense played great. I think they picked off a couple times. Josh Allen.
They got stops too.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
It was a step in the right direction after getting our teeth kicked in for a few weeks, but they're still nowhere near relevancy.
And I guess the question before we move on, I'd ask to you Giant fans is, at this point, you guys just extended Jones. I don't know all the details of the contract. I don't know how long it's guaranteed for, if you can cut him, if you'd even want to cut him or potentially trade him. But if you guys have what, you're 1-5 right now?
1-5, yeah.
1-5 right now. The top of this is one of the most loaded drafts we've had in a while.
Absolutely.
With Caleb Williams, is it Drake May?
Yep.
From UNC's?
Yep.
Is he from?
Yep.
Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, you guys haven't had a true wide receiver one. I don't know how long.
Well, since Odell.
Yeah, exactly. But what, as a fan, from a fan's perspective, are you guys looking for? We want to go for a quarterback. Is Marvin Harrison Jr. the guy you're looking for? Do you want to completely tank and see what happens in the draft, or where are you guys at?
I mean, I can't look that far. I don't think you can accurately judge Daniel Jones based on what this roster looks like. I think he's been given absolutely no chance to succeed at all with this offensive line. I don't think he's the problem. I don't think he might not be the solution, but I'd be willing to run it back. We saw what he can do with a competent coach last year. I don't think that's completely out the window. Would I hate to see them draft a quarterback? No. I'm glad that we have probably the best backup quarterback in the league in Tyrod, because that definitely helps.
Zach Wilson.
I wouldn't say he's the best, but
I'm kidding.
I don't know. I do have faith in Joe Shane. I have faith in Dable. I don't know what the solution is, but I think you just got to let the season ride out, see where we land, and if they truly have a quarterback, then you got to take your guy. It's a quarterback league. But if not, I would not be upset with Marvin Harrison Jr. at all. I think Tom would probably agree with me on that.
No, I couldn't be more opposite from you. Tear the whole thing down. They stink. Going off of that,
right.
in the offseason, we focused on getting, 10 different true third string wide receivers. Get rid of them all, honestly. Clear some cap. Do what you can in the offseason. The offensive line, we've been working on this thing, trying to fix it for the past what feels like 17 years, and it just tear the whole thing down. I read a report today. I was very big on Caleb Williams. I might view him as like a Patty Mahomes type of quarterback, but then I read a report today saying that he wants ownership.
I saw that.
That's
apparently Rodgers asked for that with the Jets when he was when they were skepticisms of him being traded to the Jets as well.
I mean, that is an asinine request.
It's okay. Yeah, you go to Steve Tish's and John Mara's office and say you want ownership of the New York Football Giants. Good luck, buddy.
Is that even allowed?
Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
Well,
that's right.
Thing. Is that allowed?
I don't think so. As a
declined.
draft?
Yeah, they declined Rodgers because they said, I was reading in like the comments and everything today that it's not allowed. No. So
you can't give a draft pick ownership
Especially
without playing it down.
He's not proven in the NFL. I mean, college completely different than the NFL. Completely.
The thing that was funny to me though was like people were like, at least Rodgers is like one of the all-time great quarterbacks.
Agreed.
He's a Hall of Famer. Caleb Williams has never stepped on an NFL field
But that's
before.
still a ridiculous request from Rodgers because he's 40. So you're gonna give 2 years and you want
100%.
ownership of a team. I mean, come on, let's be realistic. The only team, Patty Mahomes,
he might have.
He might. I know he has ownership in the other sports in Kansas City. Yes. He has ownership of the Royals and the soccer team there. But I mean, let's be realistic here. That's insane.
But so, do you view Caleb Williams or Drake May?
Yeah.
Caleb Williams or Drake May, do you view them as like a generational quarterback that if you have that chance to draft them, like you have to take it?
So here's what I think. Caleb Williams, yes, he's by far in my mind and majority of America's mind, he's by far the clear number one QB in college. People disagree. They'll give you Shedeur Sanders. They'll give you
big fan.
They'll give you Drake May. They'll give you the guy Penix, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Washington.
He's nasty. I think Caleb is definitely the clear-cut number one. However, after all of this, and a lot of people forget that there was a lot of like he was boycotting the NCAA is trying to make a new football game for the video football game, and he's boycotting, saying he doesn't want his name in it because he was going to get the same amount of money as the other players in the league, which I mean I get. I mean he would generate a lot more money, playing as Caleb Williams than you would as some other player. But there's just a lot of stuff that's against Caleb Williams now, where you cannot be the face of one of America's probably the second most valuable team in the NFL behind the Cowboys and be demanding all of this stuff. You kind of just need to own it and kind of put your head down and be a workhorse. And I'm scared Caleb Williams might become a bigger distraction in New York than a asset.
He's screaming me guy.
Yeah, he is.
I agree.
There's been a lot of weird stuff with him. And before, I'll just drop my last few notes on this, on my top 10. I think that the Eagles and the Niners are the clear 1 and 2 right now.
I disagree.
In my opinion, I don't think it's debatable. You can argue the Dolphins, the Bills exposed them. I just think the Eagles have the most complete roster. And I don't know. I just think the Eagles and Niners, in my opinion, have the most complete rosters, and their quarterbacks are good enough to get the job done. If the 49ers are healthy and they're coming in with Purdy, Kittle, that elite offensive line, CMC, even Elijah Mitchell as a backup, or Jordan Mason, and then you go and you got Debo and you got Ayuk. The team is just loaded.
It's
the Eagles are also loaded, and I like the Chiefs a lot. I like Patty Mahomes. I just don't think they have it. I don't think the rest of that offense, outside of him and Kelsey, I don't think they're going to be able to get it done. Blaise, take it away.
Yeah, going back to the Giants, I kind of disagree with what Tom was saying because I don't really think there's much to tear down. Sure, you can get rid of all of you could trim the fat. There's a lot of fat. But I don't think a new quarterback does any better on this team the way it's constructed. So I don't think it really matters. I mean, Patrick Mahomes could be playing quarterback for the Giants. He would not succeed. This team is not built for success right now. The offensive line has been a problem for a decade. It's putting a Band-Aid on a thing that needs stitches. It doesn't. Evan Neal stinks. We're on. Our offensive line is struggling. We have our center, who is actually pretty good. He's out. John Michael Schmidt's out. We just signed Justin Pugh. Actually had a pretty good game off the couch, and now I was reading that he might even be gone because some team can sign him off the practice squad for higher than what we're willing to offer. So it's an absolute dumpster fire. But I don't think Daniel Jones is the issue. So it doesn't really matter which way they go, whether they draft a QB or whether they bring him back. I'm okay with either. But I do agree that they need to tear it down. But tearing it down is still, we're still committing to a few more years of just torture. Yeah. So any which way you go.
But it looks like it's going to be that way regardless.
Yeah.
But you guys, really, since Odell, you have had the worst receiving core, it feels like, every single season.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
But even last year,
Marvin Harrison Jr., he might be the best wide receiver prospect ever.
Which is why
that dude is.
Which is why I'm not against taking him and keeping Daniel Jones.
Yeah, no, I think it just becomes if the front office or someone's this is our chance at a generational quarterback,
then you have to do it. Then you have to.
Because at that point, first of all, you're getting him for a lot less money than you'd be paying Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones could be moved on that contract, I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure there's an out after year 2.
Year 2.
Yeah. But I think Daniel Jones, I agree. I don't think he's the problem, and I think there's a team that would trade for him.
I think if he's given the amount of time that some of these other quarterbacks have in the pocket, I think, and we saw it last year, he's not bad. He's just... this team just sucks.
He's proved he's not a bad quarterback, and he's in a rough spot. But Caleb Williams, Drake May, they're just one of those guys.
I trust Joe Shane. If he truly thinks one of them, and I like Shadur Sanders, by the way, I think he's going to be a stud. If they like one of those guys, sure, have a battle in preseason. It doesn't matter to me. This team's still going to suck for a few years.
You want to give us your top 10?
Sure. All right. So my top 10. At 10, I have the Seahawks. I just think Pete Carroll's a great coach, and they have a good defense now. Geno's playing pretty well. Kenneth Walker is turning into a bona fide star at running back. I just think they're a good team. At 9, I have the Jags. Kind of the 2 London wins. They have momentum. They're a pretty good team. Trevor Lawrence is good. Evan Ingram is starting to, of course, ex-Giant. He's good. Calvin Ridley's good. And they have a good defense.
There's a reason why McAdoo drafted him over Mahomes. Yeah. Evan Ingram.
Yeah. Turning.
McAdoo knew.
He's that guy. At 8, I actually have the Rams. I think anytime you have Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald, Kyron Williams absolutely hurts going down. I don't know what the injury situation is.
He's out for a few weeks at least.
A few weeks, if it's only a few weeks, but
running back in Sean McVay's offense.
Sean McVay's good. I think the Rams, and they just got Cooper Kupp back. I think they're still a pretty good team. At 7, I have the Browns, strictly for their defense. And if they get Deshaun Watson back, they can make some noise. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders, but they're top 10 for sure. Just because of the defense wins championships. I don't think they'll win, but they beat the 49ers so with QB3. At 6, I have the Bills. They should not. They should have kicked the shit out of the Giants. I mean, let's be real. At home Sunday night, Josh Allen should absolutely destroy the Giants. So I kind of knocked them for that, but they did beat the Dolphins. So I think they could beat anybody on any given night, but they also, could lose. So it's just they're up and down. I do like the Bills. I think they're pretty good, but they just gotta put it together, and just start blowing teams out. And they're capable of it. At 5, I have the Lions. And we were just talking about this. I think they're just good all around. Aiden Hutchinson is turning into an absolute beast. Amon-Ra is a top 10 wide receiver. Hot take. Sam Laporta is great. The running back situation is definitely interesting, but David Montgomery is good. And Goff is a very underrated quarterback.
Absolutely.
I think he's fully competent. They just have a good team. Detroit has a good football team for once in a long time. At 4, I have the Chiefs. Anytime you have Patrick Mahomes, I mean, you're going to be in the top 5. He could beat anybody. There's not much else we really got to say. 3, I got the Eagles. I hate to say it. I really do. I hate them, but they're just good. We don't even have to go into it. 2, I have the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill is ridiculous, and McDaniel is. I mean, the guy just creates so many ways to just torment defenses. He's such a weird guy, but he's like a savant. It's crazy. And at 1, I have the 49ers as well. I think they're just a well-oiled machine. Kyle Shanahan is arguably the best coach in the NFL. Christian McCaffrey is the best player in the NFL. And Kittle's a beast. You just go down the whole roster. They're just run so well. They're my number 1 team.
You think what I'm thinking?
What's that?
About the one thing I asked Blaise to do before the podcast. I was like, you just list it off and then we can talk about each one. You guys don't remember me saying that?
No.
All right, do you want me just to list it so you can play it?
You don't remember that was the one thing I said before we recorded?
All right, Seahawks, Jags, Rams, Browns, Bills, Lions, Chiefs, Eagles, Dolphins, Niners.
I was like, yo, just list it off and then we'll
Tom was about to do the same exact thing.
We'll talk about
as me.
every reasoning. And then I hear Blaise go, yeah, 10, I got whatever. I was just like, oh my God.
Do you want me to just list it?
No, I think it's easier for, in terms of us to have a conversation about it, for you to just say it and then we discuss it. But it's fine. I just thought it was funny because it was like the one thing.
To be fair, Tom was about to do the same exact thing as I made.
Guilty as charged.
I mean, he doesn't listen.
Listen.
He also just listened to what you did for fucking 5 minutes.
Well, we had a lot of the same points and same teams in the same slots. Blaise, give us an honorable mention.
I just thought it's fine. I just thought it was hilarious.
An honorable mention?
Yeah, and don't use mine.
Yeah, no, wait. Read your teams. Like, just be like my top. Just read it.
All right, my top 10. At 10, I have the Seahawks. 9, I have the Jags. 8, I have the Rams. 7, I have the Browns. 6, I have the Bills. 5, I have the Lions. 4, I have the Chiefs. 3, I have the Eagles. 2, I have the Dolphins. 1, I have the 49ers.
Nice.
My top 10 teams in the NFL right now, I'm going to go 10, New York Jets. 9, Dallas Cowboys. 8, Jacksonville Jaguars. 7, the Cleveland Browns. 6, Detroit Lions. 5, Buffalo Bills. 4, Chiefs. 3, Eagles. 2, Dolphins. And the best team in the NFL, I don't think anyone can argue, is the San Francisco 49ers.
So you guys are both Dolphins guys, huh?
Huge. Huge.
We have very similar.
Very.
That's kind of scary.
Maybe you looked at my list, but I have the Dolphins so high is because they just, 1, they're an electric factory. 2, McDaniel is hot take, he's a top 5 coach in the NFL.
I don't even think
that's not even a hot take.
Because, I know, what is it, his second year there as head?
Yeah.
He was, okay.
Yeah.
And they're getting Jalen Ramsey back too.
That's where I was gonna point that out.
I forgot that he was gone.
Yeah,
and they're gonna get A-Chain back.
And they just got somebody. Who they?
They don't even need.
They just traded for.
You don't want them to get A-Chain back.
No, I don't.
You have Mostert in fantasy.
But Mostert's
but the thing is, even
elite
in
too.
that offense, the two of them.
Who did
they easily get 30 points each?
Plug and play. Yeah, plug and play.
What's the wide receiver they just traded for? It was Steelers, Browns.
Oh, Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
You know what?
He sucks.
No, you know what?
Nah, that
is in that system.
I think he just in general he seems
for
like
a fourth
sucks to be around.
When he's
a bad guy.
When he is a fourth string wide receiver, probably even less on a team you're in a pretty good situation. In that system, he can return to that Pittsburgh Steelers type of form, I think. And it is a very low risk, high reward type of transaction. So I'm all for that. Yeah. So that's why I have him high. I have an honorable mention in the Washington Commanders. I feel like they're just so under the radar. I mean, I look at their roster up and down, and I want to say to the extent that they are a stacked team. You have Logan Thomas at tight end, who it's actually so nice to see after he's been battling injuries for the past couple years. For him to come back into that form which he was 3 years ago, it's nice to see. And then they have, on wide receivers, they got Terry McLaurin, they got Curtis Samuel, Dotson, running backs Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, and I'm a big Sam Howell guy. I believe in Sam Howell. I think he's a dog.
We both do.
Yeah,
Sam Howell guys, huh? You guys have a lot of similar takes.
And I could see them. I could see him doing some damage. I wouldn't say Super Bowl or anything like that, but be on the lookout. New ownership for them too. I think they're in works of getting a new stadium.
Maybe a new name change again.
Yeah, a new name change again. Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's go back to the Washington football team. That was electric.
People loved it.
I love just the football team. I mean, there was nothing better. Going back to the Dolphins, which you guys both had it too. I saw something today that all three of these guys, Tyreek Hill, A-Chain, and Raheem Mostert, they all ran Division I college track as well as football.
Well, I think I think they put up a graphic, the fastest speeds.
Yeah, it's like
in the NFL.
That's
crazy.
Probably even more than that now, but
it's like Mostert, A-Chain, Hill, and Waddle is not slow by any means too.
He's one of the fastest guys in the league.
So I mean, they're just built with speed, and McDaniel knows how to use it.
Yeah, It kind of makes you think because of all the success that they're having, if more teams are going to kind of shift into just getting these guys who are just so fast, it's impossible to stay in front of Tyreek Hill.
You can't guard him.
No.
So.
Yeah. And what did he say? He said he's got 1 or 2 more seasons left and then he's done. You guys remember that report?
I saw that he did it. He said this is his last contract.
Okay. Yeah, something like that.
But I also saw that he wants to play for I don't know if you guys saw 2028 Olympics, I believe.
The flag football.
The flag football, yeah.
Gronk. Saw that?
Gronk is in.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill said he wants to play in it. Gronk said he wants to play in it. Yeah. If they offer him the bag, I don't. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember the quote, but for this year, I mean, we're talking top 10 right now. So the Dolphins, just their offensive line. I mean, if you're scoring 40 points a night, I mean.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would not surprise. I think they'll probably be the team that comes out of the AFC. I think it's going to be either Eagles or Niners in the NFC. And I do think I would give the slight advantage to the Eagles or the Niners, depending on health.
And where the game is.
Exactly. But, I mean, it would not surprise me if they made a Super Bowl run.
No, I agree with you. I got the Dolphins or the Bills coming out of the AFC. I do. And I think Buffalo will turn it around. I'm sold on them. Good. I don't understand why I'm sold on them, but
they're too good not to put it together.
They're way too good not to be there. Yeah, and you look at the past couple of years, they've been there, but they haven't gotten over that hump in the playoffs. I know they got bounced by Kansas City. It's been
that one year it sucked.
I think this might be the year that they get over that hump, but they're going to see the Dolphins in the AFC Championship, and
they also can't escape just bad injuries on defense. They lost Von Miller last year.
Yeah.
Von's finally coming back, and they lose Milano and Tre'Davious White. I mean, it's like, and not only are they just losing guys, they're losing some of the best defensive players in the league.
You're absolutely right.
So yeah, I mean, it's hard for them. It's going to be hard for them to continue going forward. Now, the division's good. I mean, they lost to the Jets already. I mean, the Pats, they're going to destroy them this week. Let's be honest.
They might take out all their anger from the Giants game, which they should have won by at least 60 points, and use it against the Patriots. They really might.
Sleeper team coming out of the NFC is the Lions.
Yeah, I mean,
a good team.
They got the offense for it.
They're fully capable of making a run themselves. I mean, playoff football is always who gets hot. And if the Dolphins are scoring that many points, I mean, there's going to be very few teams that can stop it. But, yeah, Lions are a sleeper in the NFC. I think the NFC, you could pretty much chalk it up as 49ers and Eagles. But the Lions could definitely make some noise.
They can.
The AFC is pretty loaded.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much football left. Obviously, this is early. Anything can happen. A guy could...
Oh, injuries.
Absolutely.
With the injuries that we've seen this year, I mean, Justin Fields is most likely... I saw some reports say that they're just going to that he might just get shut down for the season.
Really?
I wonder then if they shut him down, even with him, I mean...
What do you do at QB if you're the Bears? Because
they're going to have the one
picks,
and two or three... They're going to probably have two top 3 picks this year. And, I mean, I would assume one of them is going to be taking Marvin Harrison. That would be my assumption. They got DJ Moore. If they paired him with Marvin Harrison Jr., I think DJ Moore would thrive as a wide receiver too. And I think immediately Marvin Harrison Jr. can step into that wide receiver 1 role. I think he's that good. But then, yeah, it's like, obviously I would think they would keep Fields, but then it's like, do you draft a Caleb Williams or a Drake May? Do you believe in Justin Fields, or do you
trade back? Just accumulate picks because their roster is dog water.
Yeah. I mean, I think they use at least one of those picks, and it just depends. I think them losing Fields makes it even harder than all, because if you could have watched him all season, you could have at least seen he was starting to slowly get better, develop. If you were able to watch him throughout the season, is this his 3rd year or his 4th year?
I want to say third.
Third, I believe. If you got to watch him, see how he progressed, even with this team that's not really talented around him, I think it would be a lot easier. But now it's a little bit more of a guessing game. So it's going to come down to, like, the Giants. Like we said, like, do you think that he is a guy that you can build with? Or do you go and be like, these guys are 2 generational talents, I got to go with one of them and see what happens?
That's always the question for GMs. But, we say this all the time. If you think you have a generational quarterback, you got to take him.
You got to go get him. Got to get him.
It's just. Okay, so now we're just going to do our picks for Week 7. So we're just going to run through them, pick a money line, and at the end of maybe next week, we'll see who has the best record for this week, and we'll see how it goes. So first game, tomorrow night, we got the Jags and the Saints. I'm going to go with the Jags.
Me too.
Saints.
Falcons, Bucks. I mean, I got to go Bucks.
Raise the flags. Bucks, baby.
Bucks.
Although, Riddler versus Baker, that's a matchup right there.
Super Bowls.
Yeah, right. Raiders versus the Bears. I'm going to go Raiders.
Raiders.
Browns versus the Colts. I would go Browns.
I'm going to go Browns, too.
I'm going to go Colts.
Okay.
Wouldn't shock me.
Big Gardner Minshew guy?
Huge.
I actually do like Gardner Minshew a lot. Commanders, Giants. I mean, I'm just going to go with the Commanders. Even though the Giants always play the Commanders really well.
Tom, is this going to be like a bit where we have to pick the Giants, or do we pick our actual pick here?
This is going to end up in a tie.
It could end up in a tie.
It really could.
It could be. I mean, I'll take the Giants. The Commanders are going to win, but I morally, I'm taking the Giants.
The Commanders. But tie.
Lions, Ravens. I think we're all going to agree on this one. Lions. Just not Ravens fans here. Bills versus Pats. This is an easy one. Bills. Although it could be a weird Belichick game where they just find a fucking weird way to win.
I doubt it. I'm going Bills.
Bills? Pats?
I'm going to go Pats. I'm going to go Pats.
He's going to zag, of course. Yeah. Cardinals, Seahawks. I am going to go with the Seahawks.
Same. Seahawks.
Seattle.
Steelers, Rams. I'm taking the Rams here.
Rams.
Pittsburgh.
Wouldn't surprise me. Chargers, Chiefs. I'm going with the Chiefs. The Chargers have the worst coaching staff I've ever seen, outside of the Adam Gase Jets, and they're going to find a way to blow it.
I'm going Chargers.
I'm actually going to go to the Chargers also.
They're going to find a way to lose. They should win probably, but they're going to find a way to lose. Packers and Broncos. I mean, I'm taking the Packers.
Packers.
I need a big Jordan Love game.
I'll go Green Bay. Packers.
Dolphins, Eagles. I am
Wow.
going to take.
That's-
I'm going to take the Dolphins actually, especially if the Eagles are still missing Slay.
Eagles. Eagles.
I'm taking the Dolphins.
The Eagles are coming.
Hope I'm wrong.
Out of principle.
And then we got the Monday night game. We got Niners, Vikings. I'm taking the Niners with or without Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, Niners.
Primetime Kirk. 49ers.
Before we get into this, can we just talk about the ridiculousness of Brandon Staley?
He
I feel
sucks.
so bad for Obi and Chargers fans out there because I respect usually guys being super aggressive with the play calls, but this guy is just out of control because they don't ever convert.
No.
They are always going for it 4th and 1. It's like a tie game or they're down by 3. It's like kick the field goal, take the points.
Yep.
Like there's a time and a place for everything, and this guy cannot seem to tell because if you're down 3 to the Chiefs or who did they play last week?
Cowboys.
You're down 3 to the Cowboys. And it's a chip shot. Kick the field goal.
Take the points.
Take the points. Tie the game. Trust your defense. The Cowboys' offense hasn't looked amazing really this year. Most of it's been through their defense. Trust in your defense, and go see if they can make a stop. And it came back to bite them, of course, again. And then the next time down, they settled for the field goal, and it was too late. I mean, he's been doing this for a few years now. I genuinely believe that Brandon Staley is the worst coach in the NFL. I think he's had plenty of opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't think this roster is great outside of Keenan, Eckler, Herbert, Bosa, Khalil Mack maybe.
But that's a
They have a
good.
bad roster. Outside of their core guys, they don't have a deep roster.
Their core guys are pretty good. I mean,
Yes.
they have,
Agree. Their offense has a lot of talent. Their defense isn't very talented.
and they're there every game.
Exactly. But it comes down to, at this point, it's a coaching thing, in my opinion. And no one ever wants to call for a guy's job, but he needs to get out of there.
There's actually one other team that I want to talk about because it makes no sense to me.
Okay, go.
How are the Steelers 3-2?
It's just Mike Tomlin way, bro. They
It's
always have an elite
insane.
defense. TJ Watt is
Yeah.
he's that guy.
He is him.
I don't think Tomlin has. I think his worst record ever as a Pittsburgh coach is 8-8.
He just doesn't.
I don't think he's ever been under
He
500.
just grinds out wins.
He's-
Tomlin's got to be one
But
of the
with,
best coaches
with
I agree.
Kenny
ever.
Pickett,
I agree.
it's crazy.
Kenny Pickett,
Yeah.
Najee Harris is having. I mean, he is
Yeah.
unplayable in fantasy football. He can't do anything.
But somehow they're
it's just
3-2.
like George Pickens and isn't Deontay Johnson hurt?
He's hurt, but he's
Yeah.
coming back.
It's like George
He's coming
Pickens
back.
and I don't even know who else. And they're just finding ways.
Yeah.
Austin, isn't one of the guy Austin, didn't Jersey Jerry take the anytime touchdown on him?
It
They're just
truly
in the,
doesn't
they,
make
I don't
sense.
know.
They
to
live
me.
in the mud. They love these mud fights,
Yeah.
and I mean, honestly, I think it's kind of funny at this point.
It-
I don't
it's-
like the Steelers at all, but I respect them. Because
I don't like the
It's the
Steelers
Steel
at all
City.
either.
They
But
just find a way. The Steel City.
It's a blue collar.
It is.
It's a blue collar.
3-2, it makes no sense to me.
Well,
Kenny
that-
Pickett's like didn't someone compare Kenny Pickett to Eli Manning? He's like he's
That's
like
crazy.
In the clutch, he just comes through. Like, bro, they were that game was what, like 8-0. It was like a in the mud game. All of a sudden, he puts together 2 amazing drives. He throws a dime to George Pickens. They score, and all of a sudden, they win the game against the Ravens.
It's
So I'm gonna go through the Steelers wins right. Well, games right now. So they're 3-2 heading into this week. They got smoked by the 49ers. Understandable, best team in the NFL. They beat the Browns 26-22. Putting up 26 against the Browns defense isn't.
that looks good.
Yeah, that looks very
in
good.
hindsight.
They beat the Raiders, who, I mean, I'm so frustrated by the Raiders. I really am. I'm not even going to get into that. They got smoked by the Texans, and they just narrowly beat the Ravens, which, I mean, that's not really necessarily that impressive. If I'm John Harbaugh, I'm really considering putting Odell at quarterback. I really am. Because when you put 10 points, I mean, there's just they're just a boring team, and it's. If I'm John Harbaugh, I'm starting Odell at quarterback because it's an upgrade at the wide receiver by him not playing wide receiver, and it's an upgrade at the quarterback because Lamar will be on the bench.
I knew blasphemy was going to start.
Lamar is just like I give him some defense for like 2 weeks ago when they lost.
I can't defend him anymore.
It was against the Steelers, no, where like they dropped like a combined like 5
Yeah, it was
catches,
it was a lot.
3 of them were like touchdowns, but I don't want to talk about the Ravens because who is that?
Just keep going.
We're running out of time, but let's get into this draft.
Oh.
So I think we got about 10 to 12 minutes. So we are going to do a current NFL draft. So basically, we're all going to pick a quarterback, a running back, 2 wide receivers, tight end, defense, offensive line, and a coach. We're going to do it in a snake draft. Tom, you are the new guest on the pod, so I will give you the first pick. Blaise, you get the second pick. I will take the third pick.
Are we assuming everybody's healthy in this?
Yes. Everyone is healthy, unless a guy's like already out for the season. But I don't really know who would be that you'd pick.
Okay.
So, Tom, you get the first pick. Blaise, then me. I'll pick twice because we're doing a snake draft.
That's a very respectable move. I'm going McCaffrey, running back, number 1 pick. I don't really have to even defend that pick. I don't.
Yeah,
He's not human.
Blaise.
All right, with number 2, I'll go Justin Jefferson.
I mean, I can't believe it. I'm getting Patty Mahomes at the 3. So I will take Patrick Mahomes. And then I will wrap around. And you know what? I'm stacking it. I'm going to take Travis Kelce.
Wow. Big Chiefs guy.
Big Chiefs. I mean, I'm going to take those 2.
Big Chiefs guy.
Go Blaise.
All right, I'll go. I'll do Tyreek Hill. I mean, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill is a good.
Yeah, that's crazy. I did think about him, but then I was just like, I'll take the outlier. I'll take the outlier. The outlier.
Yeah.
God.
I'll go Jamar Chase for wide receiver 1. And then, you know what? I'm going to go Jalen Hurts. I am. He's a dog.
So now we go back to Blaise. So, I mean, you don't really even have to pick a quarterback till the end now.
No, I don't. Let's see. This is actually kind of tough. You guys, I wasn't ready for this. Who are we gonna do? I'll take Eckler
Okay.
at running back. I'll do that.
Let me take a. I gotta.
It makes it so hard for the draft purposes.
Yeah, it is. I'm just trying to see. All I felt through. Oh shit. What wide receivers have been taken so far?
Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
And Jamar.
And Jamar Chase. Okay, so I go back to back here. Let me see. I am going to take Cooper Kupp.
Wow.
And this is a tough one. Give me Devontae Adams.
Smart.
All right, with my next pick, I'll take Mark Andrews.
Bruce.
I'm going to go tight end Sam Laporta. Different, but I'm a big believer in the Lions.
Okay.
And
now
Dan Campbell has got the boys buzzing.
That was your pick. You have another pick right now.
I do. I am going to go with a coach here, D'Amico Ryans from the Houston Texans. The reason why I say that is because the expectations were so... There was really no expectations for this Houston Texans team through week 6 that they're 3-3. That he's got C.J. Stroud balling. So I think, you laugh now, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's coach of the year this year. So
Laugh now, cry later.
D'Amico Ryans as my draft pick.
All right. Blaise, you're up, bro.
I will take the Eagles O-line.
Okay. This is tough. I mean, I need a running back, but I need a lot of things. You know what's crazy is there just really aren't that many good running backs. I'm gonna take Bijan. I'm gonna go with the rookie sensation. I think him and Patty, I just seems like some chemistry guys.
Yeah, I think. Well, you have back to back.
Yeah, I know. Let me see. I'm gonna go with Sean McVay as my coach. I'm a big McVay guy.
Okay. I am going to take. I'll take the Browns defense.
It's a good pick. It's a steal. Is it me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going A.J. Brown, wide receiver, Philadelphia Phillies. Eagles, not Phillies.
I thought about him as well.
I go again?
Yep.
I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Okay. Now we go back to Blaise.
All right, Coach. I'm going to take Kyle Shanahan.
I thought you were gonna go McDaniel, to be honest.
It was 1A, 1B.
Yeah. So what is there? I have the
Same coaching.
Okay,
tree.
so I have 2 picks left. I am going Eagles O-line.
I think that was... you took the Eagles D, Blaise?
Did you take the Eagles offensive line?
I took the O-line, Eagles O-line.
O-line.
Shit, didn't even hear you, kid. Let me get...
Don't do it.
So I'm going to take the Jets defense.
Oh, that's good.
And then offensive line, I didn't even hear that.
Don't do it.
Best... I have a choice between 2. I want to look something up. PFF, let's see what if they're going to help me out. Yeah, Browns, wow. It's tough because I like Zach Martin a lot. I'm leaning Cowboys, but
Don't lean Cowboys. Don't lean them. They're banged up.
I'm gonna go Lions offensive line. I'm gonna go with the Lions.
It's a good pick.
Me?
No, Blaise.
Oh.
One more
Yeah,
pick.
and this is my last one. Well, since you guys gifted this to me,
I think we had a flex in here, boys. I think we had a flex.
QB Josh Allen.
Wow.
Good pick.
Good pick.
Glad you didn't mess that one up.
Thanks.
For my O-line, I'm going to go Dallas Cowboys. So I got their offensive line and defense. We going to add a flex? Let's throw a flex in there.
Okay.
All right.
So I start off?
Want to add a
Yeah.
flex? I'm okay with it.
I think I got back-to-back picks here, right?
There's only one pick.
There's only one more.
But yeah, you go.
I think so,
You
right?
You
Yeah.
go. You go. You all right?
Saquon Barkley.
Love it. Love it.
It's a good pick right there. That'll be my
Not a bad
flex
pick.
player.
It's
I
not
was
a
thinking
bad pick.
between him or Chris Godwin, but I'm going to go with Saquon.
I mean, I know who Blaise is taking here. It's written in the stars.
So I'm deciding between 2. I already know who you.
I mean, if you don't pick this guy, you're a fraud.
Wow.
If you don't pick this guy, the sun god, you're a fraud. You know, Blaise didn't know that Amon-Ra was the sun god.
I don't even know what that means.
You know, the Egyptian gods, like Amon-Ra that's what he's named after.
Huh?
I don't think that's a
You got-
common knowledge as you think.
I think
I'm
guys
familiar
are
with like
just-
Greek gods, not Egyptian
Look at that.
gods.
just public
Oh, like King
education
Tut.
Just didn't get it done with you guys.
Yeah. All right. I'll take Amon-Ra.
Am I finishing this up?
Yep.
Did anyone take Stephon Diggs?
That's who I was gonna
Wow.
take.
Did he really go untouched?
But
Give
you-
me Stephon
Wow.
Diggs.
He ate me.
You bullied me
Oh.
into taking Amon-Ra.
No, I didn't.
He bullied me in fantasy this week, Stefan. It's just these 10-yard passes for 10 throws for 10 yards. It adds up
Who
quickly.
did you pick for your flex?
I was going to go with Chris
Saquon.
Godwin, but
Saquon.
I
My
went
team clears
Saquon.
You guys, I'm sorry.
What?
My team clears. All right, let's read off our
Who's your
teams.
coach?
Sean McVay.
Oh.
All right, so this is my team. Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, Bijan Robinson running back, wide receiver 1, Cooper Kupp, wide receiver 2, Devontae Adams. Obviously, those can flip-flop. Travis Kelce at tight end, Stephon Diggs as my flex, Jets defense, Lions offensive line, and we got Sean McVay at head coach. Loving that team. Loving that team.
I'm loving my team. Quarterback Josh Allen, running back Austin Eckler, wide receiver 1 Justin Jefferson, wide receiver 2 Tyreek Hill, tight end Mark Andrews. My flex is Amon-Ra. Browns defense, Eagles O-line with Kyle Shanahan on the headset.
Nice squad right there. Bruce? Read your team off.
Pretty competitive from both of you fellas. Quarterback Jalen Hurts. I got running back Christian McCaffrey. Wide receiver 1, Jamar Chase. Wide receiver 2, A.J. Brown. Tight end Sam Laporta. Defense, Dallas Cowboys. O-line, Dallas Cowboys. My coach is D'Amico Ryans, Houston Texans. My flex is Saquon Barkley.
I like these teams.
I
think we did a good job drafting these teams.
I think so.
There was a little bit of a weird moment when you could have got D'Amico Ryans last.
No, I know.
No one was going to pick him.
He was not even on my radar at all.
Well, this kind of goes back to what you guys are saying. When you have a
generous situation, you got to get your guys.
But going back to your conversation, why I don't want to say reach for him. When you guys were saying earlier in the pod is that when you have a generational talent who's available in the draft, you have to take him. That's D'Amico Ryans.
All right, fair
enough.
Fair. All right, good up.
Good up.
Yeah, Tom, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, fellas.
Time.
It was an honor. It was enjoyable. I look forward to
He'll be a returning guest.
As a long-time listener.
Yeah.
It's like first time, long time. You know?
First time, long time.
Yeah.
I look forward to the opportunity of hearing the people in the comments.
Of course. People, let us know. Let us know your thoughts.
Hearing greatness.
All right. Thanks, guys. Good up.
Good up.